You know, I never saw it coming this weird sense that I was picked for something bigger, like fate or God, or whatever you want to call it had singled me out in this sleepy little suburb of Willow Creek. And bam, my quiet life as a mechanic just exploded into chaos. It started innocent enough, right? I'd bought this modest house on Elm Street a few years back, nothing fancy. Just a place to tinker in the garage and grill burgers on weekends, but then I noticed the HOA. That homeowners association run by this iron-fisted lady named Evelyn Hargrove was pulling some shady moves, squeezing folks out of their backyards for community improvements that smelled a whole lot like her personal land grab. And me? I felt this pull, this inner voice saying, "Tom, you're the one to stand up," like I was chosen to fight it, even though it meant risking everything I'd built: me peace, my friends, my sanity. It hit me hard that first night I dug into the paperwork, sitting at my kitchen table with a lukewarm beer, flipping through those dense HOA bylaws that Hargrove had twisted to her advantage. Turns out, she had her eyes on expanding the common area, right through my property line, claiming some old easement from the 70s that nobody remembered. Why me, you ask? Well, deep down, I knew it was personal. Hargrove and I had butted heads before at a neighborhood meeting when I called her out for hiking fees to fund her fancy clubhouse upgrades, and she shot me this glare like I'd slapped her. "Mr. Riley," she sneered, her voice all honeyed venom. "You wouldn't understand the vision for Willow Creek. Some people are leaders, others just follow." That stung, because I'd always been the guy who kept to himself, fixing cars for locals, coaching Little League on the side. But now, this calling, this burden, it isolated me quick. Friends started distancing themselves, whispering about how I was stirring up trouble, and my ex-wife, Lisa, who still lived nearby, pulled me aside one evening on the porch, her eyes tired and pleading. "Tom, why fight this? You're sacrificing our co-parenting peace for what? Some principle? Let it go, or you'll end up alone." And she was right. In a way, the loneliness crept in like fog, those long nights researching legal loopholes, feeling like the only one awake in a sleeping town, wondering if this chosen feeling was just my ego talking or something real, something divine, testing me through the fire. But man, the battles, they ramped up fast, turning my life into this gritty drama I'd never signed up for. Hargrove didn't play fair. She rallied her board cronies, this smug group of retirees who'd bought into her power trip, and they slapped me with violation notices for everything: me truck parked an inch too far on the curb, my fence needing repaint, petty stuff to wear me down. One showdown I'll never forget was at the annual HOA meeting in the community hall, lights buzzing overhead like interrogation lamps, the room packed with neighbors shifting uncomfortably in their folding chairs. I stood up, heart pounding, and laid it out. "Evelyn, this isn't about improvements. It's about you grabbing land for your nephew's development deal, and I've got the emails to prove it." And she leaned into the mic, her face twisting into this mock surprise. "Oh, Mr. Riley, paranoia doesn't suit you. Perhaps if you contributed more instead of complaining." The room erupted in murmurs, some siding with her out of fear, others shooting me sympathetic glances but staying silent. It felt like spiritual warfare, you know? Not just against her, but against that inner doubt gnawing at me. Am I crazy for this? The stress piled on, costing me jobs because I was too distracted, health dipping with sleepless nights, even a bout of anxiety that had me questioning everything. Yet, in those low moments, alone in my garage with tools scattered like forgotten dreams, I'd pause, breathe, and feel this refining fire. It stripped away my old complacency, built this grit I didn't know I had, teaching me that suffering wasn't punishment, it was prep for the win. And yeah, there were funny bits too, like when I caught Hargrove's minion sneaking around my yard at dusk, measuring tapes in hand, and I flipped on the floodlights, yelling, "Smile for the camera, buddy." He scampered off like a startled raccoon, and I chuckled through the adrenaline, thinking, okay, maybe this chosen gig has its perks. Then came the turnaround, the unexpected counterpunch that flipped the script I'd been grinding away, gathering allies quietly, like old Mr. Jenkins next door, who'd lost his garden plot years back and harbored his own grudge, or Sarah, the young mom across the street whose kid's playground was next on Hargrove's chopping block. We formed this ragtag group, meeting in my living room over coffee and spreadsheets, piecing together evidence of her embezzlement, fake invoices, backroom deals with contractors tied to her family. The climax hit at the town council hearing. This packed chamber downtown, with fluorescent lights casting dramatic shadows, me facing Hargrove across the aisle like some courtroom thriller. I presented our dossier, voice steady now after all the trials. Ladies and gentlemen, this isn't just my fight. It's ours. Evelyn's manipulated the HOA for personal gain, violating state laws on property rights, and she fired back, standing tall in her power suit. This is slander. I've dedicated years to this community, while troublemakers like you tear it down. But the tide turned when Sarah stood up, tears in her eyes but fire in her words. My kids deserve better than your greed, Evelyn. And one by one, others chimed in, the room shifting from tense silence to a chorus of agreement. The council ruled in our favor, stripping Hargrove of her position, ordering audits that exposed her schemes. She stormed out, muttering threats. But it was over, her empire crumbling in that electric moment. Me feeling this rush of vindication, like the weight lifted, the reward finally tangible. Not just saving my land, but restoring trust in the neighborhood. Folks clapping me on the back, saying, Tom, you did it. Of course, the high didn't last forever. Hargrove slunk away, but whispers lingered, some saying she got off too easy, others wondering if the new board would be any better, or if power always corrupts like that. It left me pondering, was I really chosen for this, or just lucky? And does winning one battle mean the war's over, or is there always another Hargrove waiting in the wings? It's funny how justice feels satisfying in the moment, but then you question if it's ever truly fair. Maybe that's the real cost, that lingering doubt. Anyway, if this rings true for you, drop a comment below. Have you tangled with an HOA nightmare? Was it worth the fight, or do you think folks like me stir the pot too much? Share your stories. Hit that like button if you're team underdog, and subscribe for more real talk tales. Let's keep the conversation going, because who knows, you might be the next one chosen.